Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 22 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. We got a special guest tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to talk to Hanny. I haven't talked to Hanny for a really long time, so it's awesome to have him on. For anyone that's been on StreamYard from the very, very early days, almost from where we started, Hanny was one of the first people to interview me and have me on the show to talk to his repurposed audience. So it's really cool to have him on StreamYard now. So I'm really excited about that. And repurpose is a great tool for, I think many of our users are already familiar with it, but to those of you who aren't, I feel like live streaming is a great way as sort of like the genesis of content that you can sort of use everywhere else. It's a great starting point to just create some long form content. And then lots of people make blog posts out of that or make a podcast out of that. And the great thing about repurpose is it does a lot of that for you automatically. And Hanny's going to talk a bit about that, but it's a great way to just sort of take your live streams and turn them into podcasts and all kinds of stuff like that. Our first topic of today, before
you dive in.
Oh yeah, of course, there are three pillars.
Well, yeah, I'll hit these.
Okay.
I'll hit them this week. So yeah, just for anyone new here, this is our town hall, we call it. So this is every week. Gage and I are the two founders of StreamYard. We pop on here and basically just get feedback from people, try to see how we're doing, tell people kind of what's coming down the pipe on our end, and then hear from you guys. Plus, it's nice to use our own tool, right? Because then we're actually experiencing what you guys experience all the time. So there's three things we always talk about, and these are the three pillars, we call them, that we focus on at StreamYard above everything else. So the first one is just that you look good. You can do things you couldn't do on a native platform, right? You look very good, professional when you're live streaming. That's the first one, because obviously that's what the tool's for. But the second one is that it's super easy to use. So we're never going to be the product with the most features. And I know some people want a ton of features, but ease of use is our main thing. And then the third one is stability. So there's nothing worse than a live stream not working for you. So we're super focused on stability. And those are kind of the three things we focus on.
Absolutely. So our first topic of today, which I think we've talked about before, but there's always some new people here every week, so it's good to get more ideas, is tutorials. So we released our first set of tutorials, the basic set of tutorials. But I'm curious what you guys want to see next, because I'm going to start making some more advanced stuff. So one that continually comes up is how to make overlays and video intros. So I'm definitely going to do a tutorial on that. But I'm curious if there's anything else that's really important to you that you'd really like to get some more information on. I'll probably do one. Andy actually in the group posted today a really good tutorial on how to create overlays with Google Slides. So if you're in the StreamYard group, be sure you check that out. But I'll probably make some tutorials on how to use Google Slides or Canva to do some of that stuff. And then I'm looking for ideas on what else is important to you guys. And then Dan was going to talk a bit about, because it was Ross was kind enough to have me on his stream, and one cool subject that came up was sort of how StreamYard is different from sort of a native tool or some other tools that you might use. So Dan was going to talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so it's definitely something we hear quite a bit, or it's something that it comes up from time to time. So basically, StreamYard works quite a bit different than most other live streaming tools. So for example, the one a lot of people are familiar with is OBS. Was it Open Broadcast Software? Open Broadcast Software, yeah. Yeah, so this is just like a tool been around for a long time, open source tool, and it runs on your computer, so you download it. So the main thing that's different about StreamYard from tools like OBS or things like Ecamm, vMix, XSplit, Streamlabs, there's a ton of them, is that all of those tools will basically mix everything on your computer. So you download this tool, it'll capture your screen or your camera, mix everything on your computer, which is fine if your computer is very powerful. And usually a specific type of computer is much better. Like Windows seems to do much better. But what we do instead, just because, again, we're super focused on ease of use, and we realize some people are on Chromebooks or some people are on old Macs, we mix everything kind of in the cloud. So we do all the mixing on our end, and then you just kind of have to capture your camera and send it to us, and we'll do the mixing. So it's a little it's more expensive, which is why, or part of the reason we have a monthly subscription instead of like a one-time download fee. But it makes it a lot nicer on your computer, and it just makes it way better for guesting, right? Like that's kind of actually the main reason we do it. Is it goes well with what Gage and I are doing. There's two of us talking to each other. You'll notice a lot of the other tools that you have to download don't do that super well. It's not very easy to do. So that's part of like, I think that's honestly the main thing that would separate us from most tools. Is just that.
Yeah, it's easy. When you're not running it on your own computer, it's much easier to manage guests since we're able to offload a lot of that from your computer to sort of our computer. So it's much easier to, like other people have mentioned, if you have a large number of guests on screen, on many things that would really be hard on your system. But since we handle a lot of that, it still works relatively well. And Dawn asked how to deal with feedback. Seems random, headset or no. So a headset will eliminate it entirely. So if you're experiencing feedback and you have everyone in the call wear a headset, that will definitely fix it. You don't always need a headset. Like as you can see, Dan's not wearing a headset. So if you make sure your speakers aren't super loud and aren't pointed directly in the microphone, that will go a long ways.
Yeah, and just one thing to always follow up on, and not even specifically to answer Dawn's question, but for anyone wondering about feedback, it's always kind of confusing. But usually if you're hearing it, it's your guest that needs to wear headphones.
Yep, that's a good point.
Typically, because it's going out of their speakers and back into their mic, and that's why you're hearing yourself.
All right, couple last topics, and then we won't keep you waiting any longer. We'll bring Hanny on. So one question just to think about. We'll go back and read the comments. So just whenever you're comfortable answering it, we're curious in an ideal world how we would handle the banners for you guys. Do you want to talk a bit about that, Dan? Yeah,
it's just very, very simple question. So right now, for each destination, so maybe you have a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, and each of those has like their own separate list of banners that we save. Would it be better if we just merge them all together? And then we could also allow you to, drag them around so you can reorder them, because I know that's inconvenient now. But would that be better than how it is now? Yeah, so basically just saved everywhere. So that instead of there being banners for every single destination, they're just saved everywhere and you're able to reorder them, but you have one list of banners. And that's essentially it. Our last point for all of you is it's going to be an exciting summer. Dan and I are not taking the summer off. We've got some really big things planned, which is the main thing we're working on right now. So unfortunately, we can't have too many exciting topics because you'll hear about it when we actually release it, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. So without further ado, let's introduce...
Hey, that was awesome. Love that intro. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Hanny. So it's awesome to have you on. For people that are completely new to Repurpose, I don't think there's that many watching that are. Well, there's probably a decent amount. Why don't you give us a quick rundown of what Repurpose is and why StreamYard users should care about it?
Awesome. Yeah. So Repurpose is an online tool. Again, it's nothing to download on your computer. It's an online tool designed to take your content from one platform to another. Whether you're doing live streaming, you want to send a copy off to YouTube after the fact, you can have an automatic kind of rule that does that for you. If you want to convert live streams into audio podcasts, do some cool stuff with intro and outros and send that off to your podcast platform or just to your Dropbox if you want to use it for other purposes. So it's very rule based. It's an online platform that lets you make your own rules to take a piece of content from one platform and publish it, convert it, and or publish it to other platforms automatically. And that's the key. You can automate a lot of your manual work.
Cool. Yeah. And that's the part I love too, is it's sort of fire and forget, right? You spend some time setting up all your rules and then you're sort of good to go. When you're sleeping, all this stuff is happening.
Exactly. You focus on the content. That's really what it's all about, right? You don't have to worry now with StreamYard, you don't have to worry about the platform. You're on a solid platform. You know that your content's going to go out. Then you got a tool like Repurpose that can distribute it afterwards. So really your energy and focus on the actual content, which is the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw a comment from Mark Thompson that I really liked because he uses StreamYard in addition to Repurpose, which is really cool. So like a lot of you guys that if you don't know much about podcasting and you just want to get into podcasting, you should definitely take a look at Repurpose because you're doing all the work, right? Is you can just take your live stream and turn it into a podcast. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can get it onto YouTube as a video. And if you're not simulcasting at the same time, you can get a copy of the video of the live stream onto YouTube. You can create a blog post afterward as well automatically. That's not with Repurpose. It's another plugin that we have for WordPress that kind of works with Repurpose. You can get audio podcasts like we talked about, and then we got some cool features coming out hopefully in the next week or two that can let you tease out little video snippets from your live stream in a really cool way. And I'm going to demo that later on. So I don't want to get that off right now, but I do want to demo that feature.
Yeah, we can jump into it relatively soon. I'm really excited about that one. I saw a brief clip of you using it, and it's awesome because I love those little share. It's super shareable, right? It's super helpful for promoting a podcast or a live stream. Is those nice clips that have the text on screen. One thing I wanted to mention that I'm sure you're excited about is the Facebook's going to be in 1080 relatively soon, so that's probably helpful for Repurpose, right?
Yeah. Now we're able to grab the 720. I think the 720 is the highest. I mean, if you're streaming it higher, I think the highest you can get and download is 720. So yeah, excited to see higher quality, and we'll definitely take advantage of that when we repurpose the content.
Yeah, I'm excited about that for sure.
Do you know when that's coming out?
I'm not sure. Do you remember?
They said it was supposed to already be out, I thought, not that long ago, but I noticed that when you download something, it's still in 480p, which is unfortunate, but I'm assuming any day now you'll be able to start downloading in higher qualities. But it is awesome because that was one of the first downsides about repurposing the Facebook content, was that you'd get that lower quality, which was sort of unfortunate, but I assume that's going to be resolved with those changes relatively soon. So I was excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on.
But so should we jump into a demo, Hanny?
Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek, everyone watching. I'll show you how kind of repurpose works for those who don't know it. Very brief, and then show you this latest feature, which is hopefully rolling on a week or two. And it's awesome and it's unique because it's primarily for you guys, live streamers who have content and you want to share little snippets. I mean, a snippet can be 30 seconds, a minute, or it could be a whole 10-minute chunk. For example, if you want to get that content onto IGTV or LinkedIn that let you go longer, you can definitely do cool stuff like that. And it looks really cool with kind of, I don't want to say, I like to show, not to say, I'd rather show how it all works and then have to answer.
Looking at the comments, people definitely sound pretty excited about it.
All right, let's just do it, man. Let's not keep people waiting. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, you're going to see this crazy effect in a second, but are we all good?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, awesome. So this is sorry about that. This is the repurposed dashboard. So this is our testing site. So just some things that you see here that you won't see on the repurpose account today, but you should be able to see all these settings and features in the next week or two. So this is a sneak peek. And so anyway, you log in, you create an account, you get a free trial at repurpose.io for those who don't have it yet. And there's kind of two things you got to do in repurpose. One's called connections, one's called workflows. So before you can do a workflow or kind of a rule or kind of a set of commands of what you want the software to do, you need to first add connections like your social platform. So I've already added a whole bunch, but I just want to show you real quick for those who are new, who've never seen this software. I've added my audio podcast. I've added my Dropbox account, my Libsyn account, which is my podcast host, my YouTube account. So these are like the different platforms that you're going to send content from or to. So just you're kind of hooking up, giving permission to our software to do what it needs to do.
Right.
So the thing, I'll just quickly show you. I haven't added my Facebook yet, which we do need for live streaming. So I'm going to say add connection. Super simple. Give it a name, whatever name you want, so that you know what it is. And we're just adding my Facebook account, not a page, not a group, just kind of my main account. You can decide which group and page you want to publish from later on. So at this point, I'm going to say just connect my Facebook account. It's going to pop up, ask me for permission. It's going to say okay to all the pop-ups, and we're done. It's as simple as that. It's kind of a one-time thing. You've gone through it for those who are using StreamYard. Very, very similar.
Yeah, it's just like
you're just giving
super easy.
Super. Yeah. It's kind of a one-time thing. You set that up. Now that I have multiple connection types, and it tells you which ones are inputs and outputs, and I'll explain that in a second. But the fun happens when you go to workflows. So a workflow is a rule that you decide that says where my content, the content that I'm starting with, what action I want to take, and upload the video or convert it to audio, or convert audio to video or video to audio. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. And then the last step is, where do you want to send the final product? So let's make a workflow that will take a Facebook Live. And the whole goal is, I'm going to take a very small snippet of the video and I'm going to publish that to my Dropbox account in a really cool way. So then I'll explain that as I go along. So each workflow is unique, and it's always a one-to-one relationship. So first thing is going to ask for a name. I'm just going to say Facebook Live I'm going to say it, vertical video. So for a lot of people who want to go on Instagram TV, for example, vertical video is the preferred format on there. I know they're horizontal now, but vertical video is kind of the more native version of the videos. So to take Facebook Live, to put on Instagram TV it's been a pain before, and there's also time limits. So I'm going to take my Facebook Live, create a short snippet, maybe a few minutes, and I'm going to convert that into a vertical video. So that's my one workflow. So it's going to ask me, where am I starting with? I'm starting with a Facebook Live. And I'm going to say I can take content from my profile, from my personal profile, any of my groups that I'm administrator for, or the pages that I'm administrator for. So in this case, I'm going to take my page, select it from the list. This is all very similar to what you do on StreamYard when you connect your stuff. So let's take it from my repurpose page and say next. Now I have an option. Well, you will have an option next week or so to, you can choose, I want to upload the video as a video, or I can convert that video into an audio. If I'm thinking of starting a podcast, I can do that. In this workflow, I'm talking about taking the video as it is. And what's new here is, in the past, you only had the option for full video, but we added the snippets feature. So you can take a chunk, 30 seconds, minute, 10 minutes, as long as you want, and kind of pull out some cool snippets of video content. So I'm going to show you how that works. I'm going to pick snippets and say next. And the last question is, where do I want to send this product? I mean, I can send it off to my YouTube channel. I could send it off to another Facebook page, another Facebook group if I wanted to. My intention with this single workflow here is that I want to send it to my Instagram TV, my IGTV. Now, we don't have a direct integration with IGTV, so we do have Dropbox or Google Drive, so I can send the video there and then manually upload it to IGTV or to LinkedIn or whatever other platform. So we do support Facebook and YouTube for publishing, and we do have Dropbox or Google Drive for those that are not supported. If you got a folder you want to send it to, you can put it to a specific folder. For this demo, I'm just going to say, I can make a new folder right here if I want to and say create folder. Just for the demo, I'm just going to send it to my main Dropbox account and say go. So this is what's a workflow. This is one workflow. I can create as many workflows to do different types of stuff. I can have another one that takes my Facebook Live, send them off to YouTube. One converts them to audios and send them to my podcast platform. You can do as many as you want. So think of it as a one-to-one, one input, one output kind of thing. So before I go into the settings, and I won't go into deep to all the settings, if you click on view videos, it'll show you every single live video that I've done on my Facebook page. I've only done 3. I should be doing more. But one thing I want to note is you don't have to always do with live video. If you also have video content on your page as well, or your group, you can repurpose that as well. But in this demo, I'm doing my live videos. But before I start creating my snippets, which I do by clicking this scissors icon, I want to go into the settings. And you have a few options here. I'm not going to cover all the options. You have some options for adding an intro, outro video if you want in the beginning of it. But the cool thing and the new thing that's coming out is you can now have the option of converting the video. So by default, it's a landscape. It's a horizontal video that we're doing the live streaming with. And you can have that converted to a vertical or a square. So vertical is typically for IGTV. Square is recommended and optimized for LinkedIn to upload videos to LinkedIn. So I'm going to choose vertical. Once you do that, you have some options for the text, the headline text that appears above the video. So we're not just going to take a video and just kind of like flip it around or anything. We're going to take the video, give you a chance to add a headline on top, and add an automatic progress bar comes across the bottom, which gives the people the feeling of how long the video is, especially if you're doing snippets. You can add a sub headline as you want, or captions. And so, I don't know if it's a new feature or not, but I guess it's relatively new. Maybe it's been around for at least half a year or so. But Facebook lets you add captions to any live stream or any uploaded video. So they auto-generate captions. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, if people who are taking advantage of that. If you're doing a live stream to your page, Facebook will do the captions for you. You can turn on the feature. So if you were, I'll quickly jump over to my Facebook and show you. If you were to go here, edit any video you've done, you'll see a subtitles captions section. You can click on here and you can click auto generate, which will generate captions for you. Then you can click on the edit icon and actually fix it up, because it's not perfect. It's, computer generated, but it's pretty good. But you can go in here, they have a really simple interface to go in and clean up the captions if you want to. And this is valuable both on Facebook's perspective, because people can consume the content on Facebook without, while they're on mute, you can still listen to your content. But also it's good because, well, if you're going to plan on repurposing it, we can do some really cool stuff with those captions. So I'm assuming you've gone in here, you've cleaned up some of the captions, you've fixed names, etc., and you've published it.
So this is something you've done after you've gone live?
Yeah, so you've gone live. You go into here afterwards, you kind of turn on here, meaning Facebook, and then you turn on the auto-generated captions, and then you can edit them and fix up the content, title. Usually the names it gets messed up with. You can kind of watch it and clean it up. It doesn't take that long, actually.
Yep.
And then that's it. Then you hit publish, and you're good to go. Those captions, will appear on Facebook when someone's watching the live stream. They'll show up right on top of the video on Facebook itself. And then B, we take advantage and repurpose by when you turn this option on, say use the Facebook captions, add Facebook captions to your video. We do some cool stuff with it. I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to say save, and
that is a cool feature to point out to people, because despite it's been out for a bit, Facebook doesn't exactly announce things loudly. So I'm sure it is new to a lot of people. If you don't know that, check out Facebook captions, because there's it's free, which is awesome. And it's not cheap to do that normally in Facebook.
Yeah, it's free. And then it's just want to know, though, it has to be on your page. So it doesn't seem to be available on groups and personal profiles. It seems to be available as an option on your page. So a lot of people say, hey, I don't want to publish to my page. I don't have a popular page. I still say kind of start with your page, because they give you the most options, the most stats. Facebook loves when you do stuff on your page. I know now they're shifting more towards groups, their focus recently, but they give you a lot more tools when you're doing video, especially video, any kind of video related items on Facebook on your page, at least of now. So I recommend doing that. So anyway, take this first Facebook Live, this Q&A session we did a few months ago, click the scissor icon. And what I can do is create my snippet. So if I just grab these little green markers down here and just kind of set the starting point, end point, I can even predefine the duration. Like if I want it to be a certain number of seconds, I can do that.
That's nice.
So if I know, like, for example, I want it to be 9 minutes and 59 seconds or 10 minutes or whatever, because I'm going to go on IGTV and that's my limit, I can set that here. But basically you grab a snippet from here, or honestly, if your live stream is short, you can just grab the whole episode. You don't even need to do snippets. You can just publish the whole episode. So anyway, so for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to just grab this little chunk here. Oops, sorry about that. So I'm going to grab like a minute. So it does this pretty quickly. I'm going to grab like a less than a minute chunk here and say, I can fix the title here. So the title that I type up here on the top is going to be kind of my headline of my video, which you'll see the final product in a second. So I'm just going to do that snippet. So the cool thing is I can create as many snippets per video. So imagine my live stream's an hour long. I can take out 5 or 6 kind of key takeaways or teasers.
Some nice highlights. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can do like 5, 6, 7. I can make as many snippets as I want per episode. And then I can publish them. So I'm just going to publish it. So you have a couple options when you publish, which this is on our test site. So You can use the captions from Facebook, or you can say, hey, no, I don't want the captions, but I want you to add a sub headline. So for those who don't want to spend the time to do captions or not ready with captions yet, you can say, hey, you know what? Turn off the captions and just give me a call to action. So the sub headline will appear below the video, and so that you can say, get more, watch more on my page, or any kind of call to action, or any kind of sub headline text that you want to appear below the video.
Got it.
This will make more sense when I show the final product, but for now, I'm going to turn that off and just say use captions from Facebook and hit publish. So what happens when you hit publish? It goes in the queue, and a few seconds later, it's going to start processing. So if I just quickly refresh the page, yeah, first processing. It shouldn't take very long. It's under a minute. So yeah, we should let that do it.
Question from Devonte. Yes. Well, I guess I should let Hanny answer. But yes, I believe that is true. You can stream to YouTube and have it automatically sent to Facebook, right, Hanny?
You stream to YouTube? Have it? No, unfortunately not.
Yeah,
And the reason is we're just not allowed to grab. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second so it don't look funny. We're not allowed to grab content from YouTube. So I always say, like, if you plan this right, like if in your mind, I'm going to repurpose this content, Facebook is your starting point. And that works really, really well with repurposing, because we can get content from Facebook. Now with all the captions enabled, it's really cool. You can do some really cool stuff with that. And so we can send the copy from Facebook to YouTube, not live, but after the fact. Or you can take snippets like we're doing now and publish snippets to YouTube.
Right.
So just kind of to answer the question, it's only Facebook to YouTube, not YouTube to Facebook.
Gotcha. My mistake. I guess what I was thinking that you could, hopefully I'm not wrong again, but what you could do is download it from YouTube and put it in Dropbox and then set off some workflows that way, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. So yeah, if you don't want your Facebook to be your primary source, like your starting point, you're right. We have an option to say Google Drive or Dropbox. You can make a workflow that says, hey, if you see a new video in this folder, do this. Send it to Facebook, or convert to audio, or convert video to audio, audio to video. Really, really cool stuff. So yeah, you can use that for your starting point, your Dropbox or your Google Drive. But honestly, I think now with the captions, it's almost like a no-brainer to start with Facebook. Do right Facebook, turn on the captions. So while it's doing that, one thing I forgot to mention is what I did now was called we call manual publishing. So I went into view videos. I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. I'd hate to demo that. Let me come back. So before I forget, this is an automation tool after all, right? So what I showed you now was technically a manual process. So I made a workflow, and then I went into the videos and I picked the one I wanted and I hit publish. But with any workflow, and all workflows, you can turn on this switch here, which will turn it into auto publishing, which basically says, you know what, I don't want to log into repurpose. Just whenever you see a new video on my Dropbox or on my Facebook, whatever the workflow says, just do it. Do whatever you're supposed to do. Send it to YouTube, upload it here, convert to audio. So any workflow can be turned on to auto, and it'd be fully automated. You don't need to log into repurpose to kick it off.
Got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, boom, it's done. All right. So
you're brave to do it live. It's clearly pretty easy to use, because I know doing a live demo is not.
It never works live. It never works live. But so far, knock on wood, we're doing well.
Especially when the product's not quite ready yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Give Henry some credit, guys, because it's not released yet, and he's doing it live on camera. It's a
test server right now. So hopefully it all goes well. No, it will. I hope it will. So okay, sweet. So after you're done publishing, it'll say it's done. Then a little eye icon will appear. You click on that, it'll send you right to your Dropbox folder and load up that video so you can see, boom, what it looks like.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So yeah, so basically title is the same title we put in there when we did the snippet. These are the live captions that appear nice and big so that you can actually see them. And this is a vertical video that is optimized for Instagram TV, or pretty much Instagram TV is the only one that does the vertical video. And then when I hit play, you will see the captions fall. I muted the sound. I'm not sure if it goes through or not. But so you can see a progress bar that gives the viewer a sense of how much content is left, right? So they stick around, right? They don't sit there like think it's going to be an hour video. They're like, all right, this is pretty short. I'm going to watch what's going on here. Then you got the captions, which are following along. Literally, I did this with you saw me do it, like with 2 clicks. Besides the few minutes you got to spend up front on Facebook to do the actual cleanup of the captions. You're not generating a caption from scratch because Facebook does at least 80% of the work for you. You spend a few minutes up front, and then boom, you're golden. You're done. You got a video that's in your Dropbox. You can even, like I said, you can have a workflow that sends this to YouTube directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks super easy to do. And I am a fan, just personally, of videos like this because, it's only a one-off example, but I know one on my feed when I'm scrolling through stuff. I don't usually have headphones in, right? So I don't like playing audio. But I sure, if something's got the captions scrolling, those are the things I'll watch. So I think it's very cool to have that sort of snippet output.
Yeah, that's totally the idea. Is people are scrolling, but they don't have headphones, or they're at work, or they're somewhere where they can't just turn on the sound. And another thing worth noting for those Instagram people who are hot on Instagram, and I'm a geek, so I'm going to geek out on this. I'm proud of this myself, but anyways, so what we did was we optimized the area where the text is, where the captions are, and where the title is, so that it fits on your main Instagram feed. So what I mean by that is Instagram TV, when you upload to Instagram TV, it gives you the option to say, hey, share this on my Instagram feed. That's just Instagram's way of giving you more love and more visibility. But the problem is they make it square on your Instagram feed. So we designed this so that even when it's square in preview mode, they call it, the first minute it's showing up on Instagram, the main Instagram feed, it doesn't cut off the text or the caption. So someone can watch the first minute, get the full content, full experience without kind of having the text cut off. I know it seems like a minor thing, but I spend a lot of time kind of make sure that when this video is designed, it looks great on IGTV, and also when they preview it on Instagram feed, it also is 100% viewable.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's awesome. It's good to pay attention to the little things for sure. I think Ross is actually asking about that, but he might have just meant in general. Will square be an option for IG? Is he asking about that specifically, or are you thinking it just means a square output in general?
Not sure, but I know we do have a square option as well.
Okay, so there we go.
So I'm not sure if sorry, you're right. If you're uploading to Instagram itself, like the main Instagram, not IGTV, it is square. You have to be square. So we do have a square option, which is designed for both LinkedIn and Instagram.
Awesome. Okay, so there's a square option.
Yeah. So where I was here, when I go into settings, I picked vertical, but you can pick square.
Gotcha. Sweet.
And it's literally it's almost identical to what this looks like, except that it's cut off right here and it's right here, and it's a perfect square. And LinkedIn and Instagram feed are the two kind of square. LinkedIn can do all types of videos, but I find the square one looks best on LinkedIn in terms of on the web, like on a desktop/laptop, and on mobile as well. So when you have to
haven't mastered the sizing for posts. I feel like they change it.
They do change it. I spent when we were doing this design, I was spending a lot of time here. I was literally measuring ratios on my phone. I was watching a whole lot of Gary Vee videos and just what is he doing? How is his video so good? How are they not cut off here? So I was literally measuring.
I think that's what we have to do, because I feel like everything's outdated too. You look at a blog post, it's oh, these are all the sizes, and it's well, none of those work. So I guess it changed at some point.
Yeah. And I was testing myself. I was you know what? I like the square. I prefer square for LinkedIn. It looks great on web, especially with the captions. It looks great on the web. It looks great on mobile. And then on Instagram TV, this is the perfect size, perfect dimension. Things are not cut off. Or if you have it just want to do on your Instagram feed, then you can do a square version and trim it to a minute, because the limit, I think, is 1 minute on Instagram. That's another thing, right? Every platform has got its own limits. IGTV is 10 minutes and for most people, and it's LinkedIn is 10 minutes, and then Instagram is 1 minute, and it's got to be square, and you can't keep up with these things. But now you don't have to worry about it. You just go in here, you just say, hey, I want vertical, boom, vertical.
That's why
square done. And you know it's going to work, and you can trim it to whatever size you want.
That's why everyone else relies on us to do that stuff.
Yeah, it's we got to figure it out. It's all there. It's just a matter of how do we simplify it. And
someone's got to figure it out.
Yeah. So it's good fun. I enjoyed the process. It was painful, but I kind of enjoyed geeking out on those kind of details. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, like I said earlier, if you don't want captions or you haven't done captions on your previous videos or live streams, you can simply turn off the option and repurpose. And then instead of captions down here, you can have a static text. It could be anything you want, visit my website at blah, blah, blah.com or whatever you want. Listen to my podcast on whatever it is. So don't worry about if you're not doing captions, you can still take advantage of generating these snippets in both vertical and square. And you can have your we call it the subheadline static text right below the video. And you can customize that when you publish the episode.
Got it.
No, yeah, it's a super awesome feature for sure. Because I was looking into doing some of this stuff as well, and there's tools for it, but it's kind of I feel like it's annoying to have another tool in addition to your workflow. It's super cool that it's just part of repurpose, which seems like the correct place to have it. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it was like user feedback, and people were saying, "I want to create these kind of videos, and how do I go from these horizontal videos into something vertical or square for other platforms?" And kind of rolled with it and said, "Okay, let's do this." And then when I found out, it's funny, I know it's been around for a while, but I didn't know about this captions feature in Facebook itself.
No, I only learned about it, I think, from Eileen, actually, probably a month or so ago. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who's also using repurpose, and he was a friend of mine, and he's like, "Dude, check this out, we've got captions." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, Facebook, where? And I went around, I'm like, "Holy crap, this is cool. Let's see if we can take advantage of it." And that's kind of how it all started happening kind of at the same time. Sometimes things happen for a reason, things align, and the timing was perfect. But we should be rolling this out very, very soon. And I didn't mention this, but the progress bar, everything's customizable in terms of you can you choose the color for your progress bar, the color for your headline, the color for your subheadline or your caption. So those are all settings that you can choose, and the background colors. I pick white. Some people like black, so it pops out in the feed. You can choose whatever color you want. You can have a blue background, red, whatever you want. You can get creative with it.
Cool, man.
Then we had a question from Nancy. Is there any way to preload information to be added as a description when it is shared to YouTube?
Yes. So I'm assuming we're talking Facebook to YouTube.
I think so. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So this is what we have. Well, we have two ways of doing it, multiple ways of doing it. But we always tell our customers, do everything on Facebook. So you go live, you're done going live, you go into Facebook and you clean up, we call it the cleanup process, I guess. You clean up the title, basically edit the video. And this is on my Facebook page. I go in, video details. So you go in here and set the title, set the description, and turn on the captions if you wanted to, all after you're done going live. And when we publish to YouTube, for example, we take the title from here, we take the description from here. So everything you've done on Facebook gets automatically passed on to YouTube when you're doing a workflow that says Facebook to YouTube. So you don't have to key it in all again. It's already there. It's already pre-populated in repurpose. And if you want to turn on auto publish, then you're golden. There's nothing for you to do. It just takes it exactly from Facebook. Now, we had a lot of people say, "Hey, you know what? I go live, and then my auto publish is on, but sometimes I don't have time to go in and clean it up right away. How do I take advantage of the the automation feature? But how do I make repurpose wait until I'm done cleaning up?"
Right.
So we're like, all right, how do we solve that problem? So a customer of ours gave us the idea, and he said, "Okay, you know what? Can you add a hashtag feature so that I can tell my workflow, don't do anything until you see a hashtag in my description?"
That's cool.
That's cool. So we say, okay, so a real life example would be, I come in here, I have my repurpose workflow on auto. I go into settings here and I say, only import videos with a certain hashtag, Hanny Mora, let's say. Let's say that's the name of my show. So I set that up in my workflow settings in repurpose. So now I can turn on auto and nothing's going to happen. It's going to wait. I can go live. It's not going to take my live video, not going to do anything until I go into that description and I add the hashtag here and I say Hanny Mora and I hit save. Then whenever it checks again for a new episode, it's like, oh, I see the hashtag. Boom. then it's going to publish that episode. So that's
Awesome.
the
So
way
you
to
fix
work
up the
around
captions and everything like that.
that. Captions, clean up the title, add any notes, whatever you want. This is your chance. You don't feel pressure. You're just like, all right, I go live, just go live. And then afterwards, I kind of almost write almost like a blog post. You can make this section here like essentially a blog post. Put the real content, the real meat in there, and put a proper title, and then do the captions, and then you add that secret hashtag, and then you say go save.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So.
And then if you wanted to customize it for YouTube, you just head over to YouTube and if you want it to be unique for some reason.
Yeah, so we do actually have an option for a call. That's a great question. Actually, we have in the settings we have an option for a call to action. You don't see it here because I'm publishing to Dropbox, but let me quickly do one Facebook Live to YouTube, just so that you can see what I mean. There is an option that you can add a call to action, and we will insert that on top of your description.
Okay, so you can make one YouTube specific call to action type of thing.
Exactly. You got it. So I'll just say upload video to YouTube, and YouTube you can pick your playlist if you wanted to, or make a new playlist. But boom. So where was it? Facebook Live. So here I can go and say I can add a call to action, whatever it is I want, and so it'll add that on top of any description on Facebook. Like a read the description on Facebook, and before that it will add the call to action. And if you want to add keywords, specific YouTube category, all that good stuff. You can even take the thumbnail, off of Facebook, the custom thumbnail you upload to Facebook. You can have that as the custom thumbnail on YouTube as well, if you turn that option on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, that's a great question.
And that's done on a workflow level. So you just set it up on the workflow and you're good to go, and you'll have your
Exactly. So everything I do is on a workflow level. So I can do this one call to action for YouTube, maybe a different call to action for my vertical videos, or whatever. Like you can customize everything on a per workflow basis.
Right. I think Amber and a couple others asked if there was a wide/landscape option. I think I saw that on there, right?
Well, the one assumption we do make is we assume that your Facebook Lives are wide to start. So let's say this is the one that we did vertical. We call it
original.
Yeah. So when you set original, it doesn't do any kind of conversion.
Right.
So that's one thing we have to get feedback on is but the thing is we don't add the captions to it either. So it's literally just take the original video and pass it on to YouTube, for example, which is what we currently do now. So we'll see what the users say and how they want it. If they want to burn the captions on in the original form factor, like the horizontal form factor, we can add that later on. But right now it's designed so that the original is untouched. So we take the original as it is. But it's a very good question. Yeah, I'm excited to roll it out. And because, I have a bunch of ideas. I see what people are doing, the Gary V's and whatever, who pumping out content all the time. Not copying them, but I'm just like, how do I make this easier for everybody or accessible for everybody to do? Right?
Well, they're great people to model it after, right? Yeah. They're doing pretty well. So make it easy for people to do similar strategies.
Exactly. So, and then, I can't wait to the real users get in there and say, hey man, that'd be really cool if I can do this. And then like, yes, let's work on that. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to get it out for that reason too, to get more feedback on it.
Cool. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that one. Like if you can just look at the people who have huge budgets and tons of experience in this stuff and just, okay, what exactly are they doing? And how do we make people that have no team and a much smaller budget actually pull that off with?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's as Amber's asking, is the repurposing of Facebook Live in a full duration to YouTube? It could be either or.
Very flexible. You can set up different things, right?
Yeah, so you can make a snippet. By default, it's the full episode, but you can do a snippet or 10-minute clip onto YouTube.
And you could even, it sounds like you could even do both, right? You just set up multiple workflows, and technically you could have one that's like your whole Facebook Live goes to YouTube, and you have another one that's just a snippet, or
exactly. And then you can do different playlists. So like one workflow can, let's say you have a playlist on YouTube that says these are all my Facebook Live full episodes. And you can have another playlist that's almost like snippets or key takeaways, for example. So you can have each workflow, one that sends the full episode can go to one playlist on YouTube, and then the other snippets or short clips can go onto a different playlist on YouTube. So you can set that up on a workflow by workflow basis.
Awesome. And this is a good question. I think this is something that I've heard people really like about Repurpose. So I'll let you answer that.
Yeah,
Is if you can deal with old live videos.
Absolutely. Every single video you've ever uploaded or every live stream you've ever done is accessible through Repurpose. So when you say view episode, it'll show you your whole history of every single live stream you've ever done. And then you can say, hey, go. You can say, just blast them all to YouTube, and it'll just kind of crank through it.
So if you have a lot of live streams, you could just have a lot of podcasts overnight, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can have a whole YouTube channel and then turn into a podcast in like a few clicks, literally.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So yeah, it's awesome. And I'm not sure a lot of people are doing podcasting who are not, but there's kind of two things you can do with podcasting. You can go two ways. So you can take a Facebook Live and convert that into an audio. And we also have an option to add an intro and outro. So kind of give it more of a real podcast feel instead of just taking the live stream and jumping into the content. You can actually do intro, outro, and send that either to Dropbox or we support two big hosts right now. We do Libsyn for those who are podcasters who are probably familiar with Libsyn. And then also SoundCloud, which is not big on podcasting, even though they're trying to get into it. We are going to be adding more and more platforms, but you can always just send it to Dropbox. So basically you have an audio version with the intro already added to it. And then you can take that and upload it to any platform that you want. So that's one way, Facebook to a video into an audio. But if you're already a podcaster, you already have an audio podcast, you can take your audio podcast and go the other way. You can go audio to video. So if you want to build a YouTube channel with your audio content, we make these cool videos with waveforms. I can probably show you a sample of it from my Dropbox folder. But the idea is you can make them in square, vertical, or horizontal and have that content available for all your social media platforms, including YouTube. So you can definitely go the other way if you're starting with podcasting. But I imagine most people here are starting with a live stream, so that's why we've been focusing.
Well, some people do both. So if you have an old library of podcasts you want to turn into videos, I mean, that's super cool, right? If you have a bunch of podcasts lying around, like, I'd like these to be on YouTube, you can have it throws up a nice picture and then a little waveform, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you can do square and vertical, same thing. So you can send them off to upload them to LinkedIn or to Instagram TV. So if anyone wants to see that, I'm happy to show it. Just let me know if you want to see a sample of it. We've got a couple samples on our website as well, repurpose.io.
And then Amber saying she missed the beginning. Yeah, it's just was there a trial or something? It's just repurpose.io.
Yeah, repurpose.io is a trial that lets you do four videos. Like you can publish 4. There's no watermark, nothing. You just try it out and get a feel. Any kind of video to audio, audio to video, whatever you want to do. You can do that for free at repurpose.io.
And his clips, just to be clear, his clips will be ready in a week or so.
Exactly.
If you can't find it, that would be why.
Exactly. There's a ton of features in there right now, but we need another week or so. I'm hoping next week, to be honest with you. We're really close. You saw it. It's pretty much there.
You did the whole thing live. You must be pretty close.
There's details that are like, I don't know, I get pretty picky. Honestly, this is the biggest feature we've released in a couple of years. Like since we launched this about 2 years ago. Or just over 2 years ago, and this is probably the biggest one.
Awesome!
Biggest feature we've done. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. It's something that I like when there's a demand. Like people need this, have asked for it, and I feel like it's finally here. Well, it's like this close to being here. So.
And how long have you been working on this feature?
Oh, I mean, in my head, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, how do we pull in all the pieces, the captions and this without disrupting the workflow? Because to me, it's all about, we repurpose about efficiency, right? About automating. So if I had to tell you, go to here and generate a captions and upload it here, and it's like, well, that's not as efficient. So once I figured out the Facebook captions, I was like, whoa, now it all ties in beautifully. You can just do everything, upload to Facebook, do your cleanup there, title, description, caption, and then boom. The rest is automated, and I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. And I have a few of my friends using it now, and I see their posts on Instagram and stuff. I'm like, duh, this is exactly how I envisioned it. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Perfect. Right on.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like that. Seeing someone thoroughly enjoy your product and it really met some need. It's a pretty awesome feeling.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to get this out. I think we're gonna get a lot of great feedback from people. I mean, it's it's pretty flexible now, but I'm excited to hear what else people want to do with that. And so
Yeah, now's your chance. Let Hanny know. Try it out.
Yes.
Demand some features.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing some StreamYard streams on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do whatever clips you want, whatever the limit is, like 10 minutes, I think, for IGTV. Honestly, for those who are not big on Instagram, you want to put long videos up, upload them to IGTV.
And Deborah, it's repurpose.io.
Yeah.
And then John had a question. Will the 12 a month let you send to all social media accounts?
We have there's 3 plans in there right now. One is called a live streamer plan, which is kind of your basic plan. It's only Facebook to YouTube. It's like $12 a month, but it's only Facebook to YouTube. So you can't do all the snippets and the vertical stuff that I showed you. The other plan is $20 a month, or it's even cheaper when you go for the whole year. It's like $199 a year or something.
Yep.
That one lets you hook up all your Facebook pages, all your Facebook groups that belong to one account. The way we set it up is based on accounts. So if you have one account and you have you're an admin of 10 groups, all good. You can use all 10 groups. You have 10 pages that you're administrator, you can use all 10 pages. So that's the $20 a month plan, or it's called the content marketer plan. And that will let you do unlimited workflows, audio to video, video to audio, vertical, captions when it rolls out next week or the week after. Everything you've seen, all your Facebook stuff, all your accounts. I think it's also 5 YouTube accounts too. If you have a couple different YouTube channels, you can send them to different channels as well.
Sweet.
So it's super cheap. That's something that we also get feedback on too, which is weird. When customers say, "Hey, it's too cheap," I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
but honestly, like with this feature, there is going to be a price increase in the near future soon after we roll out this vertical, because there's a ton of value. It saves you a ton of time, and that's the feedback we've been getting. Is like, wow, I can have a podcast, YouTube channel, and now with these style videos, all with pretty much majority of it automated. It's like, sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can't hire somebody for that price to do everything for me.
Well, yeah, that software is expensive. If you just look at the software that does that one part, there's software out there that's not cheap. If you want to just have an easy way to create those vertical videos and make clips, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, and then you still have to do the work. You still have to go in and pick a video, upload a video. It's still very hands-on. Here, the hands-on part, the most hands-on part is the captioning, which is when you upload to Facebook or you stream to Facebook, so nothing to upload in StreamYard's case, and then you just go in and you turn on the captions and spend a few minutes, or get someone on your team, if you have someone on your team, to clean it up. It literally takes 5-10 minutes, depending how long your live stream is. And you're good, man. You got the captions. You can do all kinds of magic with it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, people sound like they're pretty excited about it.
Having a freelancer do something like that.
That's what a lot of people do, and it's not cheap at all. Yeah,
$20 a month right now. That's the current price. You can't.
Yeah,
it's cheaper. If you buy the whole year, it's even cheaper. It works out to be cheaper. But for $20 a month, even if you're trying it for a month, you can't pay someone $20 to do all that in a month.
No, definitely not.
Sweet.
All right, I think we've covered most of the questions. Do we have any final words, Hanny?
No, I'm just excited for feedback. We've been around, Repurpose is awesome. It's been around for a couple of years, but now this new feature, I can't wait to get it out. Get your feedback on it. I think this is, I don't know. I hate to use the word. People say game changer. People call everything a game changer, but I think this is really going to simplify and allow you to get your content on different platforms now, without any additional tools like Instagrams and well, even LinkedIn as well. I mean, technically you can upload live streams to LinkedIn in vertical formats, or you can, now you can even stream to LinkedIn. Anyway, it gives you flexibility with what you can do with Repurpose now and the different formats, so that you can just be anywhere you want to be.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Hanny. That was an awesome live demo. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm not a fan of doing demos live, and that was great.
I'm not either. Yeah, I know. I'm always nervous, but I was like, it's nothing speaks more than actually showing it. That's why I didn't want to try to explain it. I wanted to show it and then go back and explain it. So, yeah, knock on wood, it went smoothly. But
absolutely. So everyone, check out repurpose.io. That feature should be hopefully, knock on wood, coming out in about a week, and you can get it before the prices go up. And yeah, it's an awesome product. I hear nothing but great things about Repurpose, and the times I've used it, it was awesome. So check it out for sure. Thanks for joining us, Annie.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, everyone have a great Sunday evening, and I'll play us out here.